so I'm not feeling that well. So this probably won't go go an hour. So
Okay, that works. I'm super tired, anyways.
yeah. Uh, um, what's my thing on? So it's on this side. Okay. So uh, trying to I deployed the Azure function for tracking location of a courier and customer, and yeah, I'm not able to get that deployed function to work. I get a connection string error, and so I posted it on Stack Overflow, and I haven't heard anything back, which is kind of normal when it comes to Signal R questions. So outside of that, um, I'm not sure if I'm in a position to. I could try. Let me attempt to run this. I think I'll try to run it. Hold up.
So you did a Azure function that does SignalR?
Yeah, yeah. I've been had it. I just haven't. I haven't like updated the deployment recently, and actually have the client rely on the deployed Azure function. It's always relied on the function running locally on my machine.
I'm just surprised that works. I thought functions spin up and shut down it like as they're needed, but do they keep a persistent like WebSocket connection? Or maybe
Uh,
that's not how it works.
so with Azure Service Bus, it it's not truly serverless. Okay, what's the definition of serverless? With Azure Service Bus, I understand the context of Signal R, but with Azure Service Bus, it just keeps polling and polling for the lifetime of a topic being registered that clients would subscribe to for notifications. More than likely, Signal R is Signal. I can't speak intelligently on Signal R, but I know that based on the pricing model or the pricing tier, it's based on how many concurrent connections you have and how many messages you send across. But if I could guess, my hypothesis is it's forever running. It's just under the brand name Azure Function, right? So it's like, again, I could be wrong, but I feel like Azure is kind of a brand, like a designer thing now. And so like anything that they can throw under that brand, regardless of if it meets the specification, example, Azure Service Bus, I think that it's possible that it may not actually have that hot, cold, warm type of behavior in regards to the server being ready to respond.
Hmm. Okay. Weird.
It's weird because 3 years ago I would not even understand what I just said. So, uh, what am I doing? I had to rebuild this whole thing. How's everything with you?
Good. Tired. I was up kind of late last night working on work project stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a not a really a deadline. Well, it wasn't stated as like, hey, you must get this done by a certain time. But the code we're writing to replace something, the company that we're replacing their tool with, uh, is pulling the plug on us earlier than expected. So our runway is shorter to get something done. Which,
What does that mean? They're choosing to opt out of the partnership.
well, there's just we're on an old version of something, and in order to upgrade that version or whatnot, it's a bit of work and it costs us a lot to use this thing. So it makes sense for us to switch over. But so what they're going to do is just prevent us from spinning up new instances on that old version, and then I'm guessing eventually we'll shut off all of our stuff, but we're hoping to be off by then. Not too big of an impact. It'll just prevent us from, uh, providing one of our offerings, but which isn't used horribly much, but still it's enough where we want to get something out there to replace it. So, but regardless of that, I have a fun time working on it. So for me, it wasn't staying up late. It was more like it wasn't staying up late going like, oh God, I don't want to be working on this. It was, oh crap, what time is it? Crap. I could probably go all night on this.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I actually really like working under pressure, or having some sort of a deadline or a meaningful like release date. Because if it's open ended, it's so hard to make a decision about things. It's pretty easy when the decision is, well, when time is the motivating factor, it's pretty easy to make decisions. So
I would think that when things are open ended, I guess my strategy more than likely would be to enforce like a weekly demo of something new. So there's still progress. There's still pressure on demonstrating progress. I don't know. That's a strategy I would take.
yeah, it's artificial constraints versus real constraints, which we had. We had a tight deadline before, but it wasn't this tight. But I don't know. Not a deadline, like my job's not on the line. I don't think, if I don't finish it or whatever. But I don't know. I said I like it because I like to be like, yeah, let's rock and roll. Let's do what needs to get done.
Yeah.
So
Outside of that, mm, I had a conversation with the food truck guy that wants to help me out, and it just looks like it's extremely difficult. And I think I'm repeating myself from the last session we had. It's extremely difficult to deliver that offering of food. Um, so my thought process, which I think I probably brought up like 2 or 3 months ago, is just go to a grocery store or convenience store that prepares hot meals and just offer that. You just get in, pick up the hot meal, and get out. Of course, then that will require the courier to have a issued debit card in order to pay for that meal instead of it just being automated. Um, yeah. So, any thoughts? Like you go to the grocery store and they have an area where like they serve like hot meals, and then you could just box it up and leave, or you could just eat it there within their diner or seating area.
yeah. So what's the deal with not being able to go to like? Oh, is it just restaurants? Is it hard just because of the restaurant side, or is it still the legal stuff you're talking about?
So for food trucks, why is this thing not working? For food trucks, um, the issue or the challenge is getting them close enough to the beach so that the meal is still hot by the time they drop it off to a beach patron. Like that's the primary challenge. And based on like the the city codes or whatever, there's it appears to be like almost no available space for food trucks within close proximity to the beach. Um, and then the challenge with the restaurants is many of them have a corporate command and control type ordeal, and they already have either hella tablets to monitor food delivery service orders, or they're using like Olo Rails or whatever. And so it's just harder to automate a order to them. Like it's not clear how to integrate into their point of sale systems, which may already be complex. And so that's just the challenge is with the restaurants, mitigating or reducing the risk of messing up a customer's order just to have it returned. So make sure you can automate that process so it goes directly to the kitchen, instead of a website or by phone, which is error prone. And the food trucks is how can you get it to that customer hot if there's almost nowhere to park for food trucks by the beach or close to the beach.
Yeah, what's the closest? Like, I mean, what would be the delivery time on the closest locations that are reasonable for food trucks?
Outside of Miami Beach, like
Gotcha.
downtown Miami. I can't get for whatever reason I'm not able to. My page keeps getting hung. My landing page on my app keeps getting hung, but I'm not sure. Maybe do I kill the emulator and try it again? Yeah, so that's where I'm at.
Hmm.
Working on starting and stopping SignalR connections between the customer and the client based on the application lifecycle, as well as the business workflow lifecycle of fulfilling an order. So I got most of that done. No, not tested, but like the logic, I got most of that completed. Um, yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Oh, you want to talk about anything miscellaneous for the next 5 to 10 minutes before I tap out?
Um, gosh, uh,
You have any plans this weekend?
not really. I might actually do some work this weekend, but no, not specifically. Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty chill week. So 4th of July happened, I suppose, last week.
Yeah, I went
As
to
you,
Fort Lauderdale Beach, and then it was I spent over $100 just on Uber round trip.
well,
Um, yeah, and then borderline went through hell to get back home based on all the restrictions and checkpoints. And so they had like demolished the rest of the building, and I had got back to the area around midnight, and they didn't want to let me through. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like just sit out here with a stroller and wait and wait because they're saying that it could be hazardous gases. And I'm like, yeah, what if I go ahead and go under this yellow tape anyway? What are you guys going to do about it? And it's like, we'll arrest you. And I'm like, okay. Well, I feel so strong about getting home. And I feel so strong that I don't think you guys are allowed to stop me from going home, especially with my family. That I think I'm really gonna risk getting arrested and making this like a some type of case law. I think I want to challenge this. He's like, you don't want to do that. And I'm like, no, seriously. I think to make a point and to draw attention to the police here, in which they're literally stopping people from going home. You didn't provide any disclaimer saying, "Hey, by the way, in case you're considering going out to watch fireworks outside of Surfside, yeah, we're going to be demolishing, and we may not let you back home due to like health concerns in regards to gases released." Like, you guys didn't provide that disclaimer at all. It's midnight. I'm exhausted, and now you're telling me I can't go home, and you just expect me to stand here. And then a sergeant finally came and said we can go home at our own risk, and that's how it got resolved.
Gotcha. Yeah, you always just gotta say, "Can I talk to your manager?" You gotta be a Karen, man.
Yeah.
No, but how's the new job going?
I don't start until next week.
Oh, cool. Some downtime. Sweet. How's AMC going?
Uh,
I haven't looked.
I sold AMC early last week.
Hmm.
So yeah, they were tanking, and then they did a huge rebound yesterday.
Damn.
But I'm no longer holding it.
Oh, cool.
I think stocks took a plunge yesterday, just in general. So,
Yep.
duh, duh, duh. I'm about to end this broadcast. Can you just stay online for a second?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.